Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. Today I want to talk about no contact. If you don't know what that is, basically it means that when someone breaks up with you, you don't argue, you don't try to stop them, you just say okay, and then you disappear and you do not contact them. You don't call them, you don't text them, you don't show up at their house, you don't send smoke signals, nothing. And I've noticed that a lot of people are breaking no contact without realizing it. Now, the reason that no contact is so powerful is that when your ex doesn't hear from you, especially if you initially try to stop them from breaking up with you, and now you've completely disappeared, they're going to wonder what's going on. And also, when someone breaks up with you, they're not 100% happy about their decision, but they were at least 50% happy to make that decision. That's why they broke up with you. However, there's always some uncertainty when someone breaks up with you. And so you want them to be thinking about you, and the best way to do that is through no contact, and also by not hearing from you and wondering what you're up to, wondering if you've moved on. They will start to have some anxiety, and it's that anxiety that then causes them to reach out. People have to have a powerful reason in order to do something, especially if they've broken up with you. Now they have to go back on their word. So unless they have a powerful reason for doing it, for contacting you, they're not going to do it. And so by breaking no contact, you are relieving their anxiety, and therefore they have no reason to contact you. So I'm going to go over some examples of things that I've seen lately where people broke no contact without realizing it. If your ex likes one of your posts on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, or actually if they comment on it, if you like their comment, you've just broken no contact. Because more than likely your ex was putting out feelers to see if you were still interested, and you fell into the trap, you fell for it, and since you liked their comment, now they don't have to feel anxious because they're like, okay, good. They're still interested, or they're going to interpret it as you still being interested because you liked their comment, as opposed to just ignoring their comment. Another way of breaking no contact, which I didn't even know existed, is that apparently on WhatsApp, if you check someone's status, they can see that you've checked. I'm not sure how that works, but someone wrote in about that. And so if they can see that you've checked their status, or they can see that you've checked their Instagram story, their Snap, whatever, anything that they can see that you did in regards to them, that's breaking no contact. And the third example I have is, and this is a new one, you guys always find new ways to break no contact, is one person, they reposted something by a relative of their ex. Not even of their ex, a relative of their ex. Why? Why would you do that? So she contacted him to find out why he did that. Now, that is not how you want your ex to contact you. You don't want your ex contacting you asking, why did you do something? Which reminds me of another story of someone that I was coaching, and they had spoken to someone else who suggested that they write a letter and no, not mail it, but actually deliver it to that person's house and leave it in their mailbox. And so did it work? Did their ex contact them? Oh yes, their ex contacted them, but she was not happy. She didn't contact him to get back together. She contacted him to say, and I quote, "What the hell are you doing showing up at my house when I'm not here?" So keep in mind, when you're doing no contact, you need to disappear. It's like you no longer exist. You vanished. You're in the witness protection program. No checking statuses, no watching IG stories or snaps, no reposting, no liking comments, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anything that they can see that you've done, you cannot do. Now, I know that there are obviously people that still live together, or they work together, they have children together, so you can't do full no contact, but you have to do no extra contact, which means you have to go out of your way to avoid them as much as possible and only contact them or be in contact with them the bare minimum. So let's say you work with someone Instead of walking by their office, you walk around the building if you have to. You do what you have to not run into them, to not see them. You're in a meeting with them and a bunch of other people. You sit on the opposite side of the room. You do not look at them, etc., etc. And keep in mind that every time you break no contact, the count starts again. Because if you listen to my other recordings, you know that if you do no contact, more often than not, you'll hear from your ex within 8 weeks, 2 months. But if you do something to break no contact, now you have to start that count all over again. So if you were already a month in and now you did something to break no contact, you got to start counting again. That month no longer counts because you've now alleviated any anxiety that they were starting to have about you. So if you have any questions or comments about no contact or anything about getting your ex back or dating and relationship issues, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net, where I am also available for private coaching. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.